The Aztec Empire, a name synonymous with power, wealth, and a civilization that left an indelible mark on history. But like all empires, their story begins not with grandeur but humble origins. The Aztecs, or the Mexica as they called themselves, were not native to central Mexico. They were a nomadic tribe, migrating from the north, searching for a place to call home. Legends abound about their origins, filled with visions and prophecies guiding their journey. One such legend speaks of the god Huitzilopochtli, promising them a sign: an eagle perched on a cactus, devouring a serpent. This sign, they believed, would mark the spot for their new home. After a long and arduous journey, they finally arrived at an island in the middle of Lake Texcoco. There, on a swampy island, they witnessed the prophecy fulfilled, the eagle and the serpent, just as their god had promised. This marked the birth of Tenochtitlan, the city that would become the heart of the mighty Aztec Empire. It was in 1325 CE that they laid the first stones, driven by the prophecy and the promise of a prosperous future. Though the land was harsh and unforgiving, they were determined to transform it into a symbol of their power. Their early years were marked by hardship and struggle. Surrounded by powerful enemies, they were forced to learn the art of diplomacy and warfare. They formed alliances, honed their skills in battle, and slowly but surely, their influence began to grow. What began as a small tribe searching for a home would soon blossom into one of the most powerful empires in Mesoamerica. The Aztecs' rise to power was nothing short of remarkable. From their humble beginnings on the island in Lake Texcoco, they transformed themselves within a few generations into a dominant force in Mesoamerica. Key to their success was their strategic location. Tenochtitlan, situated on an island, provided natural defenses that made it difficult for enemies to attack. They further fortified their city, building causeways and bridges, controlling access to the mainland. Their military prowess played an equally crucial role. Aztec warriors were renowned for their ferocity and discipline. They engaged in frequent warfare, not just for territorial expansion but also to acquire tribute and captives for their religious practices. Through a combination of military conquest and strategic alliances, the Aztecs gradually brought neighboring city-states under their control. One cannot speak of the Aztec rise without mentioning their ambitious rulers. Leaders like Itzcoatl and Montezuma I were instrumental in shaping the empire. Itzcoatl, meaning obsidian serpent, forged important alliances and initiated the expansion of the Aztec domain. His successor, Montezuma I, further consolidated power and established a system of tribute collection that brought vast wealth into Tenochtitlan. These early rulers laid the foundation for the Aztec Empire's golden age. Through a combination of military might, political maneuvering, and economic control, they transformed a small island settlement into the most powerful empire in Mesoamerica. The Aztecs, once a wandering tribe, had become the masters of their world. By the 15th century, Tenochtitlan had blossomed into a magnificent metropolis, a testament to Aztec ingenuity and engineering. Imagine a city built on a lake, interconnected by canals and causeways, with towering temples and palaces reflecting in the water. This was Tenochtitlan, the heart of the Aztec Empire, a city that rivaled the great cities of the world in its grandeur and complexity. The city was a bustling hub of activity, with a population estimated to be over 200,000 people. Merchants hawked their wares in bustling marketplaces, canoes laden with goods traversed the canals, and the air was filled with the sounds of commerce and everyday life. The Aztecs were skilled architects and engineers. They constructed massive pyramids, temples, and palaces adorned with intricate carvings and vibrant colors. Their engineering prowess was evident in the network of canals, bridges, and chinampas, floating gardens that provided fertile land for agriculture. Life in Tenochtitlan was not all splendor and grandeur. The city was also a place of stark contrast between the ruling elite and the commoners. The nobility enjoyed a life of luxury, while the commoners toiled in the fields, served in the army, or worked as artisans. Yet despite these disparities, Tenochtitlan functioned as a cohesive unit, bound by a shared faith, a complex social structure, and the ever-present shadow of the empire. The Aztec Empire, like many ancient civilizations, was built on a rigid social hierarchy. At the apex stood the emperor, the great speaker, considered the embodiment of the gods and the supreme ruler. Below him were the nobles, a privileged class comprising priests, high-ranking warriors, and government officials. They held vast power and influence, controlling land, resources, and access to higher education and religious positions. Beneath the nobility were the commoners, the backbone of Aztec society. They comprised farmers, merchants, artisans, and laborers. They paid taxes, served in the army, and contributed to the empire's vast building projects. At the bottom of the social ladder were slaves, usually prisoners of war or those who had fallen into debt. They were considered property and had no rights. Education played a crucial role in maintaining this social order. The Aztecs had a system of mandatory education, but it differed greatly based on one's social standing. Children of nobles attended elite schools called Calmecacs, where they received rigorous training in warfare, religion, history, and the arts. Commoner children attended Telpokkali, schools that focused on practical skills like agriculture, crafts, and basic military training. This structured social hierarchy, while rigid, provided a sense of order and stability to the empire. It ensured that everyone knew their place and contributed to the collective good. However, it also reinforced social inequality and limited opportunities for upward mobility. Section 5. Beyond the battlefield, Aztec culture and innovation. While often remembered for their military conquests, the Aztecs were a surprisingly sophisticated civilization with a rich and vibrant culture. They possessed a deep understanding of astronomy, mathematics, and writing. Their calendar system, based on meticulous observation of celestial bodies, was remarkably accurate. They used a system of hieroglyphs to record their history, myths, and daily transactions. The Aztecs were also skilled artisans, renowned for their exquisite craftsmanship in gold, silver, feathers, and stone. Their intricate sculptures, featherwork, and jewelry reflected their artistic sensibility and religious beliefs. Their poetry and music, often performed during religious ceremonies and festivals, were highly sophisticated and expressive. One of their most remarkable achievements was the development of chinampas, floating gardens built on the shallow parts of Lake Texcoco. This innovative agricultural technique allowed them to cultivate crops year-round, even in the limited space of the island city. The chinampas, incredibly productive, provided a steady food supply for the burgeoning population of Tenochtitlan. The Aztecs' thirst for knowledge extended to the natural world. They developed sophisticated herbal remedies and medical practices. Their knowledge of botany and their ability to cultivate a wide variety of crops in challenging environments were testament to their ingenuity and resourcefulness. Section 6. Omens and Arrivals, the Shadow of Spanish Conquest. The year 1519 marked a turning point in Aztec history, the beginning of the end for their mighty empire. For years leading up to the Spanish arrival, a series of unsettling omens had plagued the Aztecs. A comet blazed across the sky, the temple of Huitzilopochtli caught fire, and strange, monstrous beings were said to have been seen on the coast. These events, interpreted as signs of impending doom, created a sense of unease and foreboding among the populace. Into this atmosphere of anxiety arrived Hernán Cortés and his small band of Spanish conquistadors. The Aztecs, led by their ruler Montezuma II, were initially unsure how to react. They had never encountered people like the Spaniards with their strange attire, weaponry, and horses. Some believed Cortés to be Quetzalcoatl, a feathered serpent deity from their mythology, returning to reclaim his throne. Montezuma, torn between curiosity and fear, opted for a cautious approach. He received Cortés with great ceremony, offering him gifts and lodging within Tenochtitlan. However, this hospitality proved to be a strategic error. Cortés, emboldened by the Aztec gold and weakened by their apparent indecisiveness, saw an opportunity to seize control. The stage was set for a clash of civilizations, a confrontation that would forever alter the course of history. The arrival of the Spaniards with their advanced weaponry, political cunning, and unforeseen allies would prove to be a challenge unlike any the Aztecs had ever faced. Section 7. The Fall of an Empire, Internal Weaknesses and External Threats. The fall of the Aztec Empire, while ultimately triggered by the Spanish arrival, was a complex event rooted in a confluence of factors. The Spanish, with their superior weaponry and ruthless tactics, undoubtedly played a significant role. However, it's crucial to recognize that the Aztecs' demise was not solely due to external forces. Internal weaknesses and strategic miscalculations also contributed to their downfall. The Aztecs' system of tribute and warfare, while effective in expanding their empire, created resentment among subjugated populations. These conquered people, forced to pay tribute and provide sacrifices, saw the Spanish arrival as an opportunity for liberation. Cortés, a shrewd strategist, recognized this discontent and forged alliances with these groups, bolstering his forces with thousands of indigenous warriors eager to break free from Aztec rule. Furthermore, the Aztecs' initial hesitation to confront the Spanish, stemming from a mixture of religious awe and political uncertainty, allowed Cortés to establish a foothold within Tenochtitlan. Once entrenched, Cortés took Montezuma hostage, effectively paralyzing the Aztec leadership and throwing the city into disarray. The Aztecs, despite their fierce resistance, were ultimately overwhelmed by a combination of factors. The Spanish siege of Tenochtitlan, coupled with a devastating smallpox epidemic that ravaged the city, decimated the population and broke their will to resist. By August 1521, after months of brutal fighting and suffering, Tenochtitlan fell, marking the end of the Aztec Empire. Section 8. A Legacy in Ruins. The aftermath of the Aztec collapse. The fall of the Aztec Empire marked a turning point in history, the beginning of Spanish dominion in Mesoamerica, and the decline of indigenous civilizations in the region. Tenochtitlan, once a magnificent metropolis, lay in ruins, its temples and palaces destroyed, its canals choked with debris. The Spanish, victorious but ruthless, razed the city and built Mexico City atop its ruins, a symbolic gesture of their dominance. The social and cultural fabric of Aztec society was shattered. Their religion, once central to their lives, was suppressed, their temples replaced with Christian churches. Their language and traditions were marginalized as the Spanish imposed their own customs and beliefs. Generations of indigenous knowledge, meticulously preserved in codices and oral histories, were lost or destroyed. The introduction of European diseases, particularly smallpox, had a devastating impact on the indigenous population. Lacking immunity, millions perished in the decades following the conquest. This demographic collapse had long-lasting consequences, decimating communities and disrupting traditional ways of life. The Spanish conquest of the Aztec Empire serves as a stark reminder of the devastating impact of colonialism. It highlights the clash of civilizations, the consequences of technological disparities, and the human cost of conquest and subjugation. Section 9. Echoes of the Past. Remembering the Aztecs. Despite the passage of centuries and the deliberate attempt to erase their culture, the legacy of the Aztecs endures. The ruins of their cities, unearthed by archaeologists, continue to captivate the imagination, revealing glimpses of a lost world. The intricate carvings on temple walls, the vibrant colors of their murals, and the ingenious design of their cities stand as testaments to their artistic brilliance and architectural prowess. Their influence can be felt in the languages spoken throughout Mexico, many of which incorporate Nahuatl words and phrases. Their culinary traditions live on in dishes like tamales and tortillas, staples of Mexican cuisine that have their roots in pre-Columbian times. Even their myths and legends, passed down through generations, continue to resonate, offering insights into their worldview and spiritual beliefs. Today, there is a growing movement to reclaim and celebrate indigenous history and culture. The Aztecs, once demonized by colonial accounts, are being reassessed through a more nuanced lens, recognizing their achievements, complexities, and the tragic circumstances surrounding their fall. The story of the Aztecs is a reminder that even the mightiest empires are not immune to collapse. It is a cautionary tale about the dangers of unchecked ambition, the importance of adaptability, and the enduring legacy of even lost civilizations. Their story, though ultimately one of tragedy, serves as a testament to the resilience of the human spirit and the power of cultural memory.